I literally think this guy does this for profit. Yeah, on purpose. Do you know this guy hung out with Augie at VidCon? You know what? Augie says the N-word all the time. Okay? I went on this rant. Did you watch Baited yet?
No, I'm probably going to watch it at some point today. What happened on Baited?
Oh, you definitely. So Baited was great because for some reason they talked about Zaptai for half of the podcast. I didn't. That kind of got me off guard. They spoke about like me. I don't know if you did. You watch Old Baited?
I can't say that I did know. What? Why?
All right, if you're ever going to watch Baited on your spare time or on YouTube, there are only 11 episodes prior to this one. I understand that it says there's 30-something. Those are all non-canon. All right, you watch 1 through 10 and then episode 38. Those are the only good episodes of the podcast. Very good content. But they did Alex 5 years ago with the Slazo stuff, and they came back again and did it now. But Colossal is crazy, is fucking ruthless on that, dude. He is ruthless on that podcast. But then him and Keem get into a fucking dogfight at the end over Pyrocynical, and Keem gets obliterated.
Oh, yeah. No.
Keem got obliterated. Keem goes, my favorite quote is, "Oh, I don't think I called him a pedophile. I used the slang term, pedo."
Okay. Wait. We might actually disagree about this because I can see where he's coming from. Now, I'm not going to defend Keem. I'm sure he said crazy stuff about it, right? But there is a distinction between... like when you're calling someone, when you're saying about someone, in fact, let's not get into it because I don't want to get demonetized. But the point I'm making is there's a difference between having like the attraction and then, messaging a 16-year-old when you're 19 or something, right? You see what I mean?
I agree with everything you're saying. And I definitely think there's a way to joke about it. I just know Keem was not joking.
Of course, I'm sure Keemstar meant it. I would normally use the word nonce.
That was a crazy way to get out of it. And we actually went to war with the word nonce back in 2019 because Alex would say stuff like this. Because the thing is, Alex would joke about stuff and in the next breath mean it. So he'd call somebody a nonce, and then he would go spread allegations that this kid fucked a minor or something. And it was like, oh, okay, so you're clearly not joking. You're just hiding behind the fact that you're joking. I think that kind of translates to other stuff.
Whatever word you use, you need to make your thoughts clear of what you're saying, and hopefully that should be enough of what you think is
like
wrong.
I've joked about people being pedos a lot over the last fucking 5 years, okay? Especially after going on the whole tangent of like, don't joke about that with Alex or whatever. I absolutely joked about it. But you could tell every single time that I did it. You could look at Keemstar right there and go, no, that guy's saying exactly what he means. Like, that's exactly what Keem is saying.
Yeah, no, sure. And Keem's got a history of referring to people in very extreme terms like that and it being wrong, right? But
oh god, yeah. Briefly, we had this Just Destiny drama, and this was like the reason that I got put in Content Nuke. I don't know if you know this, but like I got sourced in Content Nuke prior to like the Ethan Klein feud or whatever. He put my video in it. I think it was like the first one to reference the situation I covered in like a big Keem Exposed video. And essentially, there was this big commentary group chat. The UK people had one and the Americans had one. The CDL was Alex's group with all of his UK friends. And the, what the fuck was it called? The NCO, the New Commentary Order, was this gay group chat that had like Jay Aubrey, The Right Opinion, Colossal is Crazy, Nerd City, and like then all the smaller up-and-coming guys like John Swan, Staffo, the thumbnail guy, like all these YouTubers, right? And I'd got added to that within like 4 months of being on YouTube with Keemstar that same day. And he was going to war with this guy, Just Destiny, right? And this content creator copyright struck a kid for calling him a pedophile as a joke, the similar way that you're saying it. And Keem said, well, the only logical explanation is that this guy's a pedophile and he like kids. And everyone's like, Keem, that's a little bit of a stretch. And he goes, no, why would you get mad at being called a pedophile unless you have kids?
Okay, can we stop saying RKs, please? Can we just...
Oh, I'm sorry. It's
fine, we can edit it, but Jesus Christ,
I just assume that DK does it. I do it all. That's just how okay, R and K. Got it. R and, yeah.
Well, just avoid saying it whatsoever. I'm sure there's, we can get to the point, right?
Sorry. I forgot you're sure, definitely, my bad. So, yeah, that happens, right? And then he convinces all these small up-and-coming content creators, I think it's like BWC, John Swan, Jay Aubrey, to like engage in finding this guy's information because he must be a convicted P-word, right? And do you know who Zoom is?
No, who's that?
Zoom is like a former IBS guy who like the one who ended up with Ralph doxing my entire family and stuff. He brings him into the group call with these like, these young, stupid, like up and coming famous YouTubers, right? To like get all this information, and he thinks he's like a 50-something-year-old incarcerated p-word who's currently in jail. And I'm like, yeah, there's probably a pretty good chance that that's not him, considering that he's still uploading videos, unless they give a computer in the thing. He's like, oh yeah, well, I think it's definitely him. And they get all this, and then they're like, oh, okay, so he's not a p-word, but he said the n-word. And Keem's like, all right, we're gonna use that. And then I was like, Keem, somebody just posted something in the group chat. I don't think you can use that either. He goes, why? He said the N-word. That's bad enough. We can threaten him with that. And I go, well, he's black.
Oh, no. Disaster.
So then Keem got mad and sent it to Lieutenant Cobra when he was 16 years old. All the guy's private information or whatever. And that was the thing behind that. But I don't know, dude. It's just Keem always just kind of says what he means. There's no like angle to it usually. I don't think he's not doing satire in that case.
Okay, so anyway, the I'm Alex stuff is there. Let's talk a bit about the other big drama that you are directly participating in, King of Nothing. Before we get into the recent stuff, though, I'm really interested to hear from you. How would you, succinctly and briefly summarize your criticism of his video about Ethan Klein?
It's past Ethan Klein. I think a lot of his content is bad, like horrible, like terrible. In the iDubbbz video, he says that iDubbbz is pro-addiction for children. In the Ethan Klein video, he goes through, and it's any section, click and drop, you'll find a bad one, right? The dad situation's absurd. The crypto section's absurd. The scam section is my new least favorite one because he accuses him of running a scam, right? Of promoting a scam on YouTube and scamming his audience. And it's Kraken, which is basically a shittier version of Coinbase, right? Like, it's you buy crypto with it. And his argument is, well, you can buy bad crypto that are shit coins on there, not just the ones that Ethan mentions in the video. And I think he mentioned Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin before it crashed, right? But again, King of Nothing's opinion, as we found out in the Keemstar video, is that anything that loses its value was 100% a scam. Any NFT that goes to floor is immediately like it was scammed, it was intentional, blah 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 blah. Anyways, he does this whole this Kraken thing, and he starts showing all this evidence of Better Business Bureau reports and all these articles about how this company's been like fucking canceled and they're being investigated by foreign governments and all this stuff. And he's showing examples from May of 2022, November of 2022, 2023, late 2023. And Ethan promoted them in 2021, like September. So unless Ethan had a time machine, all of your evidence is not applicable to this fucking situation. And then twofold, if your argument is that you're a scammer if you promote something that's low rated on the Better Business Bureau, then where's that energy for Josh? Where's that energy for Willie? Because Scentbird is actually rated lower on the Better Business Bureau than Kraken right now. Like his argument means that if I promote a VPN and it gets breached in 5 years, that I should be held responsible for that. And it's an absurd standard to hold on anybody. The reasonable reaction is he didn't do his research. And I think that's, or he's malicious, which I think you can make the argument for. I think that King of Nothing is the content creator Vosh is talking about when he says that YouTube drama people are just bad faith and they post disinformation to ruin people's lives. I literally think this guy does this for profit. Yeah, on purpose. And I think anybody who's friendly with him, who's standing by and ignoring this when people like In Praise of Shadows are getting obliterated for similar types of videos, are just doing a disservice and pushing the stereotype further.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the thing is the thing for me that stuck out with the King of Nothing video was he was claiming, having worked in like collectible sales before, which is a bit, we don't need to get into that, but the basic point is he claimed he was trying to act like Ethan Klein was selling the NFT as an investment. Doesn't show any clips of him selling it as investment, and you go and watch the video and he doesn't sell it as an investment. He sells it as a worthless collectible. Like that's how he's presenting it, as a joke, right? So it seems to me like he must have watched that segment, probably looking for clips where he could use those examples, found there wasn't anything there and didn't include it in the video and said it anyway. That's what it comes.
Yeah, he writes the script ahead of time, goes to find the clips, realizes in the editing process that there's nothing that actually backs this up, and then puts it in anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is an inconvenience on me, but who cares? It's an easy topic. Nobody's gonna get mad.
Yeah, I watched some of his videos about True Geordie as well, and
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, dude, he's fucking obviously he's homophobic because he made a blowing themselves up joke. Do you know this guy hung out with Augie at VidCon? You know what? Augie says the N word
okay.
all the time. Okay, Augie goes up to this dude. He's like, "Hey, if you think that True Geordie's Islamophobic, why do you hang out with me? Like, I'm way worse than him." And he's like, "Oh, Augie." Augie's like, "I'm dead serious."
Yeah,
Because
no,
it's
no.
just for content. He's performatively like this, I think, in my opinion.
Okay, but there is a way, like you can just talk about someone saying something without being moralistic about it, right? Like he is the events that happened, make from it what you will. But it's your problem then that he's making sort of like moral arguments that he doesn't truly
Well, no,
believe then.
he thinks that every form of content creation is moral effing, so you can't get mad at him for it. And it's like, but you're like the only one who sounds like this. This is absurd. His position is that middle Ethan was better, not current Ethan, not old Ethan. You know, the bad Ethan, the one who was doing all the stupid shit and getting like obliterated by everybody. He thinks that was like the best, least toxic form of Ethan. That's
Well,
crazy to
when
me.
when he was more of like a lefty guy hanging around with Hassan.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yep.
hell.
And
I'm
by the way, this guy's super also anti Hassan, anti sex work. Like his none of these things seem to jive. None of his position. I can't get anything out of him. I don't know what he actually believes in based off of his videos. The first half of his videos, I miss the old Ethan because he's copying Gokunaru's talking points, and the last half of it is he's genuinely homophobic and racist. What? What the fuck? Like, it's crazy.
sure. So yeah, you've obviously got you've obviously got a lot of issues with oh sorry, I just got distracted by something. Do you know who Glink is?
Glink?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've had arguments in the past.
I just put a tweet out saying that because you know this tech lead stuff with Internet Anarchist.
Yes. Oh, let me
Just
guess. He's pro tech leads.
yeah, he's like saying, "What did Internet Anarchist say about him?" And it's like that's irrelevant. He's using the DMC assistant to take down criticism. That seems like a more pressing issue,
So
surely. Or what's the deal
I don't have a problem with that.
with
What did
what?
he say about it? I think the guy's statement is absurd and it sounds fucking crazy.
Hmm.
But again, I think he's going to get banned for that. So I don't think it really matters at this point. I do want to know what Internet Anarchist said about him because some of these guys, some of these Sunny V2 ripoff channels, I don't dislike Internet Anarchist at all whatsoever. I talked to him during the Mama Mac stuff. I don't think he's a bad guy at all or whatever.
Hmm.
But some of these guys do cut corners sometimes. So I'm interested to know why the guy is so like, why this video? Why are you going on this tangent here? I think that's a valuable part of the discussion. But reasonably, the guy went on fucking video and said, "Hey, yeah, so I'm filing these strikes with no intent to pursue them legally, and I'm doing it to fuck with you because I want to know your full legal name." I think he's gonna lose his channel. You can't do that. You're asking
Sure.
YouTube to fuck you in the ass. If they don't do something about this, they're not going to do something about anybody. But yeah,
Okay, yeah, I'll bear that in mind when I look at it. But it's kind of
when
cool. Well,
I don't know if Anarchist clipped it out of context, but it didn't even sound like he thought he'd win. Like he didn't even say like I would win this in court 100% of the time. So you can't even call him delusional. He's just like, yeah, I'm not wasting my time to even try to go to court about this. It's like, oh yeah, I don't think you could say that, dude. I think you fucked yourself here. It's pretty.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was just a quick. I mean, I wanted to bring it up anyway, so we'll just quickly leave that as an aside. But going back to the King of Nothing stuff, then. So,
Mhm.
my basic read on it is, despite his claims otherwise, it feels like he's hiding. He's come up with an excuse as to why he's not going to be putting himself out there very much. I mean, just talk me through your takes on his before we get to your response to your comment. What was your take on his original community note?
Oh, the community note was just congratulations. I hit 100,000 subs.
Hmm.
He didn't really put anything in it. I'd put a tweet out saying like, "Holy shit, dude! He got whatever. He finally like is talking or something like that." But I mean, like I thought the community note was funny because it had like Mario tipping a fedora. Other than that, there's not really much to pull from it.
No, no, sure. But what I'm getting at is, to me, it seemed like he was constructing this reason as to why he's not going to be seen publicly or engage
I
much
believe to an
publicly.
extent, some of that's reasonable. Like yeah, I understand exactly why he's not posting, but like it's also kind of disingenuous to not mention that he deleted the Discord server because too many people were asking him about me
Oh, I
and
forgot
everyone
about
else.
that. Yeah, he
Yeah, he
deleted the
blew up his whole
Discord.
community.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot to mention that earlier. Damn,
Yeah.
that's a little detail that I forgot about.
Like, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, he ran. He totally ran. There's no other way to view it. He literally. The thing is, I know his own friends are begging him to debate me when he's sitting there crying on fucking Fortnite. Why don't we just talk?
Well, that was my view on it. Is you know, you've got a disagreement, hop on a call and hash it out. That happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
And also, someone challenged you sort of earlier on this, but do you have any evidence or proof to back up this claim that you made in the original stream to demonstrate that you knew that he didn't want to talk publicly? Like, where are you getting that from?
Well, I said he didn't want to talk publicly because he reached out to me privately. That's like the conclusion I came to. I'm talking about him publicly, and he's dragging me into he sends me a Discord friend request that he did. The reason why I come to that conclusion is because of the fact that he did this with several other people. Like,
I see. Okay.
I know for a matter of fact that he's had full discussions about this video privately with like 3 other people already.
What, on voice?
Voice and text. I've read some of it. So I'm not interested in engaging with that, I guess. I don't want to have because reasonably, if I got on call with him, I'd have just leaked it. And I've already leaked a call this year, and I'm not trying to build that reputation up again. I don't know. Now I'm kind of regretting it because I figured I could have baited him on stream sooner, but now it's not working. So I kind of wish I did drop his call.
Right, I see. Okay. So you're basically coming to that conclusion off the back of how you've seen him act with others. That makes sense.
I've already seen him respond to a lot of my arguments, so I'm not really like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, I already know this is going to be funny. That's why I want to do it on stream.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's fairly reasonable, I think. But yeah, I think there's one just person that said, you know, oh, it seems like you assumed or so. I can't remember. But anyway, so you had this assumption you didn't want to speak publicly. So what, did you just ignore the friend request and that was it? Is that?
I tweeted it out and I laughed at him.
Right. Okay.
Because like the minute I'd posted a tweet, it popped up. And like, again, he's saying in his own Discord server at the same time, like, if you want to hear what Nick DeOrio has to say, just read his Twitter or whatever. I mean, I could tell you more, but I don't want to start repeating random shit that he said to other people. But yeah, he's never gonna,
on that note,
I know for a fact, 100%, he's never going to come on my channel. If there's ever just a debate, I know it'll be on a mutual platform or one he could profit from.
Okay. On that note, you have once again alluded to behind-the-scenes drama, and everyone's clamoring to know what is going on, but I'm guessing your lips are sealed?
Everyone keeps fucking asking me for it. Listen, dude, I've had this drama like 16 times. Not everybody wants to police people. Seemingly I'm the only one. And I always get fucking super burnt for it. But like, if you want more information, go ask all the other people that he's publicly gotten into fights with over the last couple weeks. I mean, yeah, dude. Obviously, Tom's had bad interactions with him. Smaggle's had bad interactions with him. The others I'm not going to name because they're not publicly accessible. But like, yeah, all those people, if they feel compelled to tell you more about it, be my guest. If not, I already know everything I need to know about this guy. So I'll just keep insulting him.
Okay. Now, without giving anything away, well, I mean, I'm assuming we can put the pieces together a bit, as a certain person did in that YouTube video a little while ago, which I think that's the last time we spoke even. But basically, it's this idea that there's this private interaction there where there's something that happens.
It's not
there.
a private interaction.
Or multiple private interactions, right?
Yep.
Are you happy to say that DJ Screwdriver was right?
He was wrong, but right. Like, he got some stuff right, for sure. I don't want to sit here and endlessly speculate on it. The guy went crazy, and he's never come off of that cloud. Like, he's still just as crazy as he was back the day that happened. So it kind of doesn't really lend to the credibility of the argument he was making. But
yeah, sure, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like, he got into a huge fight with Smaggle because he was deleting negative criticism out of Tom's chat while he was reacting to the video. That's crazy.
Wait, who was deleting negative criticism?
The whole reason he got into a fight with Smaggle, and Smaggle can tell you the nature of the fight, is because he got caught deleting negative criticism out of Tom's chat while he was reacting to the video.
Oh, so King of Nothing was deleting messages because he's got the
that part's public. That part's public. Yeah, he got into a huge fight with Smaggle over like him removing negative criticism in the chat. That was not public. Well, how could it not be public?
It is now.
It publicly.
No, because I'll tell you what happened, right? Because obviously I heard some things, and apparently the stream happened. And when I went to speak to Smaggle to find out more, he was quite evasive about giving me any significant information about it. I think he said something along the lines of, "Oh, that's not that interesting. What I was looking to find out more
Oh,
about."
it's really interesting. It's hilarious.
Of course it is,
No,
but I think
that's
that
not
was
even the
covered up a
juicy
bit,
bit.
and I think the released video didn't have that content from the stream, so only the people that were there at the stream would have seen it.
Yeah.
So nobody
Yeah,
noticed, essentially.
I just assumed people knew that because it was happening in front of a huge audience. But regardless, that's not the juicy bit. Like,
I know it's not the juicy bit, but
yeah.
you can confirm then one of the reasons there was a falling out is because King of Nothing was using his mod powers erroneously to delete criticism of his video from Tom's chat.
I've given you could logically draw so much shit that I said. He's had multiple calls with people. He takes things private with people all the time. He got into a huge fight with Smaggle over the fucking deleted comment. One could naturally assume why I thought that he wouldn't want to talk to me publicly, right?
Okay.
Based off of how many different interactions he'd already had with all my friends about this. I realized at that point this guy's not going to engage with me publicly. But I mean, you could just read his response to me in the community note. He literally said, "I don't make response videos because, like, what did he say? It takes too much time away from my content. That's basically just 6 guys' videos cobbled together that he takes 2 months to put out."
Okay. I mean, let's cut to the piece that everyone's interested in. Okay.
Yes.
How does it feel when people call you fat?
I think it's based and epic, and they should insult me more.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm kidding. I was reading the iNabber Google document, right? And she was like, the way it feels to be called fat, knowing every day that you can't, that you need to change your life. Dude, I think she was spitting. I actually agree with her. I think everything's right. I think iNabber's a domestic abuser. That's my opinion.
But I don't know, man. You know, you get it a lot, right? I get it a little bit. But
I've been getting called fat online for the last 6 years. Right, there is nothing that you could say to me now that I didn't hear during the VidCon pictures.
Right. Okay.
I got called fat by Brianna Wu.
Okay. How do you align this with being called the?
I had Tipster, who is way bigger than me, get on stream and go, "Well, it looks like I might be fucking skinnier than Nick." I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding. That guy went on stream and said that.
Okay, I don't mean to pry, but at this point, would you say you're slimmer than Tipster?
To be. I've look at the VidCon pictures. I've lost 70 pounds since then.
No way, that's crazy. There. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look. I don't know what your deal is. If I'm ever in New York,
I'm really trying to lose.
Okay. If I'm ever in New York, are we getting on cam together in New York?
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to be streaming pinball next month, probably.
Based. Okay.
On cam. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you know, the thing is like, obviously, it's the go-to insult for sometimes, but I just feel like the whole thing. He's trying to act like he's trying to pull off a kind of Giga Chad energy, but he's like cowardly and spinelessly refusing to even engage with fair criticism of his content, right? Yeah.
Well, I don't think he really. I think he's just an egomaniac. He cloutboxed with me in that. He's like, my video has a lot of likes and a lot of views, so your opinion's irrelevant and stuff like that, which is really funny because I own his community tab. Like, he tried to fight with me, right? And one tweet took over his whole community tab where he's celebrating his milestone as a content creator, his 100,000 followers and subscribers and fans that have like all subscribed to his YouTube channel was desecrated with one tweet, and he's cloutboxing with me.
Yeah, no, that was so crazy to me. The idea that he's got and loads of likes. And yeah, he's got
like,
lots of views.
How do you get ratioed on your own shit in your tweet celebrating your milestone? That's funny. That's really, look how many views my video got. Well, it didn't translate to fans, I guess, because it's not like I went on stream and quote unquote brigaded it, because he's been implying that we send hate raids to his videos by covering him on stream. By the way, this guy sounds like every YouTuber he's ever critiqued, right? Realistically, I put out a tweet, and that was able to blow through the fucking community tab and like outnumber his own fans. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, he's not responded to at any point, and the point he chooses to respond directly to you is in your reply on his community post. Like, that comes across like hiding to me. Like, why would you not make that more public?
Because I know he's been chomping at the bit. Like, he wants to talk about this. He believes, quote unquote, all of these arguments. And he's like aggressively doing that, right? But like, you guys don't see it, and I think honestly it's career ending if this guy starts explaining this stuff publicly. I think if you hear this guy rationalize some of the stuff that he thinks about this drama or whatever, I think it's fucking career ending, 100%. I think it's literally just leading the dog to water and letting him fucking bite people like Kenji. Yeah.
So you have seen these arguments that have been made.
Yeah, no,
privately,
100%. I think this guy is gonna
right.
fucking. I think this guy's crazy, dude. I think he's insane.
Right. Okay. So, and obviously we're not seeing that because for a reason he's not saying it.
Because he's smart enough to hide.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
He's not smart enough to like make the video well and just live with it, like live in that situation. But he is smart enough to know that all of the things he thinks is real might be a financial burden if he says out loud.
Why do you think it's taken so long for it to be picked up? You know,
because everyone's waiting to see what he does now. What happens next? What's his next video like? If this guy ever makes a bad video again, this is all going to come back up again. This guy literally has to have a perfect run because all of his old content is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, looking for his channel, it seems like he picks specifically people that are unliked or got.
Did you see the clip? I can pull this up. Did you see the clip of his opinion on people who don't do response videos?
No. What's the clip?
There's a clip of everything this guy says of him being a hypocrite. You can find it in his videos of him like judging other people. Hold on, let me grab this for you. This is so good. Someone had this within minutes. I also got a new clip of him sucking my dick and saying like, no matter what I do, my videos will never be good as yours, Nick. That was good.
So yeah, my read on it was that it seemed like he's kind of let this go to his head a little bit. He's had a bit of a boost of success, and he's
having an ego trip to the max right now.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs to get knocked off the pedestal before he like goes and destroys his entire career.
And you think that's inevitable if he continues on the same path?
I think this guy's gonna be a lol cow in 4 years, but I don't think that's publicly earned at this point. I don't think people would agree with me on that. I think you need to know more.
Okay, listen, Smaggle's here. Am I bringing Smaggle in? Can he actually bring the goods?
If Smaggle wants to drop, Smaggle can drop. It's not really it's his stuff to drop.
Smaggle, are you going to come in and tell us what's happening or not? Anyway, have you got this clip?
I'm looking for it. Where the fuck?
Okay,
I tweet so much.
So that's okay. Just keep looking. But yeah, I mean, it's a tale as old as time. I mean, he's done well. Don't get me wrong. He's got his plaque, but he's got 100K subs. I don't think it's taken that long. It's a couple of years. So he's done
this pretty well. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. He's made good algorithm fuel.
But I think the problem that you find is when you have a rocket up to success, and I've seen it time and time again. I've seen people surpass me, and I'm like, oh damn, that's obviously you do feel like damn, they've been doing less time than me, and they got more viewers. But then they peak, and then they fucking fall off massively.
Well, again, I thought, okay, it's just another 19-year-old kid. He's an idiot. Then I realized, oh, he's 25. Okay, never mind. He's like my age. Shit. Okay. Yeah. Here, I got the clip for you.
Okay.
Watch this.
Right. Let's. Okay, give me a sec.
I also have more of these clips in an event that Smaggle does leak for those.
Okay. Dude, where is the fucking? Is this it? Yeah, this is it. I got it here. Here we go.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw up the wrong tab, so to speak. Right, here we go. So this is the clip. Let's play this.
I find this bullying to be hilarious coming from
Me too.
Ethan of all people, because the last time someone exposed Ethan for the absolute lol cow that he is, he immediately retreated and adopted the position of understanding and acceptance like the little weasel that he truly is.
What have people been saying about me recently? That I'm a hypocrite, that I prioritize money over everything else, that I've thrown friends under the bus, that I'm ignorant and poorly informed, and
informed,
spread
misinformation,
arrogant, cannot handle criticism, and that I
can't handle criticism.
Oh my god, dude! This could literally be about. This could be kinging up and talking about himself.
And let me just say this, okay, for the record, that I am guilty of all of those things.
The guy was actually so scared of Gokanaru that it took him 2 full years just to react to his YouTube video about him. So he's more than happy to bully others, but when he gets obliterated in front of millions, suddenly the guy can't even engage with the very behavior that he has spent years perpetrating.
A little rat,
oh
a little
God,
weasel,
dude.
A little hard man in groups. I've met many of them through my years. A man who grows in numbers, but on his own, and when confronted in a similar situation, cowers away.
Okay, that's pretty insane. That Jesus, man. I mean,
dude, I've never felt so confident about something like this before. Holy shit, dude, this is insane. This guy's fucking crazy. This guy's a walking contradiction.
so he's literally criticizing Ethan for the things that he's arguably doing himself.
Dude, the most charitable read I've got is that this guy wasn't around in old YouTube, and this is like a dumb journalist's understanding of what happened in 2015 YouTube drama. And it's like, that's the most charitable read, is that he's stupid. But like, I don't know, people are wondering, like, does he just pull all of his shit off the H3 Snark subreddit and do no research? Does he just cobble together videos he doesn't understand? Like, that's all obviously more subjective and opinion based. But yeah, all of this content is literally like, I think that he's aiming for a paycheck and he doesn't care who gets hurt to get there. And he doesn't care whether the information is correct or not. The only metric that matters is income at the moment.
So he literally just wants to pump out content, regardless of the quality of the research, in order to enrich himself.
I don't know how you could look at that and then defend that section on Kraken. The one that he literally got the entire section wrong. I don't know how you can look at that and go, yeah, this video is still fine. Wouldn't you, uploading that video, even seeing that a huge section was bad, or any specific section in that video, wouldn't you get anxiety that you've uploaded this and it's wrong?
Dude, I get anxiety about saying something wrong on stream in the heat of the moment. Like,
yeah,
obviously you can have an opinion or be.
I don't think he has that. I don't think that he has that emotion. I don't think he gets anxiety for being wrong.
I'll literally be covering something live and I pause it and say something and they say it the next second and I make a bit of a joke out of it, obviously. But I do feel internally like, oh, I pause out a bit there. I got it wrong.
The worst I've ever felt is when I stayed up 36 hours to defend Turkey Tom, and it just did not occur to me that I totally fucked up the LS Mark part of the video and that somebody else had come out and said that they'd fucking handed D'Angelo Wallace all the screenshots. So I made this huge, long fucking accusation of LS Mark that was 100% wrong. And I literally felt horrible. Like, I literally felt terrible for doing that. And I apologized to the guy on stream, and I've since removed this section of the video. But like, I know that like it was like eating at me immediately once I realized that. I like panicked. I don't think this happens to him.
I think that feeling internally is what makes people stay honest and try and present things correctly and not put the thumb on the scale and misrepresent. And I think some people just do. It's not about
being wrong. It's not about making a bad video. It's not about making multiple bad videos. It's about this guy and his current attitude of profit, money, success, and it doesn't matter who I fuck over along the way. As long as I pick targets like Andrew Tate, nobody's going to care.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Tate is, particularly if the timing hits that he's convicted or whatever, put in jail or not, whatever it is.
Yeah, your research doesn't have to be good. You can lie about that guy and still make 1 million views. Easy.
Yeah, and
that guy is objectively terrible.
Yeah, but the thing is, I cannot get on board with the idea that you tell lies about someone just because they're bad. That's crazy to me. Not to virtue signal too hard, but I don't know, bro. It's just wild that you would do that. Yeah. And the target.
Ironically, I'm virtue signaling a lot about this, but I actually genuinely fucking believe this. And you've seen this with me policing other shit in the past, as gay as that sounds. Like, I'm not trying to be like a cringe gatekeeper. The reality of the situation is, I think that this guy makes me look bad, he makes Tom look bad, and he makes Willie look bad. And the only response prior to this was removing our shout outs in the description of the video. Because don't forget, he tied this fucking video to me when he posted it by shouting me out in the fucking description. And people read that and go, oh, okay, this is Nick DeOrio, Willie Mac Show, and Turkey Tom's friend. Don't do that on bad videos. Do it on good videos.
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah, I mean, bro, it's a crazy situation. He deleted his Discord. I forgot about that. I wish I'd remembered it earlier. But Henry Resilient is in chat, and apparently he's still friends with King of Nothing. He's saying in chat, and he seems quite defensive. I think he's probably at work at the moment, but I don't know. I mean, it feels weird that Henry would come on to defend his friend. I mean, this is like what he did with Bo Black. God, dude, I tell you what it is. This is what King of Nothing wants. He wants to fucking speak to someone privately so they go out and defend him publicly and they're their mouthpiece. He did it with Bo Black, so he's probably doing it with Henry too. Is that a crazy take?
See, I don't know who the group is, but I mean, Josh is very light with me on stuff because Josh still maintains that friendship, and he's just trying not to get involved, I guess.
Yeah, but initially he was a spokesperson, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, he told me that wasn't. He was just defending his friend, but I think that he. The stuff
And also,
that Bo
he's laying
said only came.
He's
from
laying
him.
it on. Okay, I can say this. He's laying it on thick in private with certain things, isn't he? Right? Making an emotional case, right? Yep. So he can't speak about it. He's got a lot of shit going on, right? So what do these people do? Oh, God, he's got a tough situation there. Dude, that's exactly what he's doing. He is getting good little fucking NPCs to go out and repeat his talking points to defend him. That's exactly what he's doing. I know it for fact. I saw it in a dream. Sorry.
I'll say it straight away. This video was made over the course of a month and a half. Nothing that happened a week before the video came out contributed to why the research was so poor. You don't have an excuse.
Okay.
Now that you heard me say that, you can try to draw up another one, but I don't think anyone's gonna go with it. It doesn't matter if like you became homeless 3 days before the video came out. You researched it for the prior month. It doesn't matter.
Well, but exactly. But that's the purpose of of the emotional manipulation is to make it so that people.
He didn't go homeless. Yeah.
Hey.
Sorry. Just because he didn't go homeless. I use that.
Sure. As an example, yeah, sure. But yeah, it's this idea that you get someone to feel sorry for you. Listen, Henry, I love you, Henry, okay? But I just think that you're being manipulated, and I think that this guy is laying it on thick with you in order to make an onus on you to go and defend him in some fashion when it comes up, because he doesn't want to defend himself, right? And I think he's probably doing this with other people too. Bro Blacks in particular is someone I can think of. Obviously, I don't know anyone else that's defended him, but maybe there's some people that...
I'm reading some of his messages, and I don't think he's saying anything super wrong. Like he's saying, like, he puts in research. I've seen him do it. Yeah, I'm sure he spends months making videos. They're just not good. You can go through any of them. There's like a crazy segment in each of them at best, and if at worst, the whole video is bad. I think King of Nothing may watch this. I know King of Nothing's going to watch this. I know King of Nothing is watching every single thing I've said on stream. That's 100% true. Let me see what else he said. Just responding to each of these. King of Nothing will be around for a while. Yes. But King of Nothing isn't like a social media personality. He thinks being on Twitter is weak or something when it's literally the only thing that builds your community. You'd have had more defenders in your fucking community tab if people knew who you were more other than your actual videos. I can't get any opinion off of where you stand on any drama watching your videos because you literally flip-flop on like literally every topic. Okay, from one video you could be pro this, you could be pro that in a different video. Nobody knows anything about King of Nothing. King of Nothing makes Twitter versus videos basically for YouTube drama. And I told this to Josh. Like the reason why Josh struggled so much early on with kind of establishing himself as Bo Blacks is people knew him as Twitter versus guy. Because he made like non-opinionated re-upload content of tweets and stuff like that. Which it works. He's making money. He grew his channel and stuff like that. But Bo Blacks wanted to be more. He wanted this male monkey thing. Now he's streaming to 400 people. He's much happier. King of Nothing, not having any social media personality, not having he deleted his Discord server. He has no Twitter. His YouTube videos are, I mean, they're just a regurgitation of stuff everyone else has already said. Can you guys point to me to one thing King of Nothing said in a video that was landmark and breaking? Other than Ethan Klein is a crypto scammer, because that didn't go so well. But like, what's the one hot take that King of Nothing made? What's his big magnum opus video that he's put out that showcases his opinion and where he stands on stuff? Oh no, he's like Internet a J. Nobody ever called Internet a J to ask his opinion on anything. They just expected he read about it on Reddit or Wikitubia. He doesn't have like a personal social media life.
There's a problem you're missing. One of the issues with Bo Blacks is you can easily make his name Blows Blacks, and I think that's
yes. Bo Flex, Blows Blacks. He actually said his iconic catchphrase on Juneteenth.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, okay. So, so you think King of Nothing sucks, which is fine. I'm assuming you think he's a bit of a coward for dodging you, and he's kind of acting like he's not, but then he clearly is seething in his response to you. Clearly, he's been thinking about this a lot.
Comment Cop wrote, wait, so you literally just like hid for 2 months, came out and said you're fat plus L or something like that. And then I'm like, dude, he probably would have gotten more likes if he wrote it like that. Like if he just wrote you're fat actually plus L, I think he would have ratioed me.
Yeah, exactly. Because
instead of like showing emotion,
yeah, that's so true. Like he would have had to pretend that he wasn't emotionally invested in order for that to come off well.
If he wrote "you're gay and fat," it would have like blown off. Everyone would have been like, "Dude, he got him."
Oh, a bonus topic being presented by Smaggle, actually. Should iDubbbz reach out to Bungie or King of Nothing for his commentary documentary?
iDubbbz won't reach out to Big Bungie because of who Big Bungie is, and I don't think that he's going to see that as a very marketable opportunity, though I think it would be one of the funniest reasons.
It would be like
King
Sam Hyde Mark II, I feel like, but...
King of Nothing fills faceless YouTuber role. My fear would be, though, that if he uses King of Nothing as the ideal commentary channel, he'll be able to make a very scathing video about everyone else. That kind of like placates my point there, you know? Like, imagine if iDubbbz is a documentary on commentary YouTubers and then picks that guy to reflect on everyone else. That would be a disaster.
Yeah. Did you see, there's another thing that, it was only a short clip, so I don't know how much I'll cover it, but there's a clip floating around of iDubbbz saying, "I don't like landlords and they're scum," basically.
I'm not shocked at all. He lives in fucking California now.
No, sure, but it reminded me a bit of Tipster doing all the trans stuff when he switched sides. It's like a similar aspect where he's like just giving the lefty opinion because that's the side he's on now.
Yeah, I think he's so caught up in that shit. I think dude, you got to realize that everyone who moves to LA has this arc. Ethan is only starting to come out of it now. Like Ethan, I think did he like defend democracy the other day on stream? You got to get burned by these people one time, and then you'll start to realize, like, oh, okay,
oh, yes.
This is not like Ethan got burned by Hassan, and then immediately, I was watching Ethan yesterday a bit on stream, and he's like, dude, that Tommy C guy is great. What?
Oh, was that in his beef with
Boogie? Yeah, he's like, this Tommy C guy is great. Now, obviously, it goes without saying that he's being like, yo, Nick DeOrio W or whatever, because we agree on this specific issue. And like Tommy's based because he agrees with Boogie on that specific issue. I'd be surprised if Josh goes on set next week and hangs out with Ethan on stream. But even though that might happen, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I do think, though, that like there is some level to this where he's gotten canceled by his own community so many times, Jordan Peterson memes or whatever, even though I think Jordan Peterson's kind of stupid. I think he was right about that. And obviously, I think anyone could have seen that coming a mile away. But like once you get burned enough times, you start to go, okay, I'm actually going to think for myself now. And Ethan's now somewhere in between where he was when he started. And I never thought Ethan was conservative, right? But Ethan's acting like a bit more like he was back in the old days.
Yeah, it's almost sometimes like it feels like he's kind of, pushing back on some of the sensibilities when he wants to say certain things, and his team are like trying to hold him back.
He feels like progressive, but not performatively progressive. Where in the past he had felt performatively progressive.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Before, like I watched he made some crass joke about Ben Shapiro. I won't say the word of what it was about. We can all guess, Jews. But yeah, it's like he said that, and I was like, that's a funny joke. But then it's the moral frogging over everything else that's so insufferable when you make jokes like that. But if you're willing to joke about everything, then it's like, whatever, yeah, sure, that's fine.
The thing is, I think this is an awkward situation because for the last year or something, I think Ethan's just been right. I think since the Hassan beef, he's had very few missteps. The Tipster Keffels thing comes to mind. King of Nothing stuff recently. But it's like, it's just one after another, like from Hassan all the way to there. Every single thing he's been typically right about.
But do you think that maybe that's because you like him again now a little bit, at least?
I don't think I said I liked him again until he started burning Tipster. I think we looked at the Hassan stuff pretty objectively and came to the same conclusions back then.
But that's just because you're a Tipster A-log.
Sure. But like, I think in the past he would have defended Tipster against us. I literally do. I think he I think he needed to get burned by Hassan, and that like fixed him. Like that fixed something in his brain. Because even that, he was debating. Who did he get? Candace Owens, and he shit on her on stream too. Is that who he talked to? Like Ethan went on a run of like 5 consecutive fucking damning debates that goes even prior to the Hassan stuff. That was all pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, some of it he was debating pearly things. He was debating like rightoid idiots, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, he did well, but
he was like obliterating some of those people. And even then, I thought that was like, I don't know. I see it as him being more open and understanding of certain things. Like if you look at him and iDubbbz, they're in 2 different places right now, and it seemed like they were much more aligned 3 years ago. Like you could expect, like Ian, I'm not expecting that guy to say anything of value ever. He just sounds like he's still self-flagellating.
Well, I mean, obviously it was over the Israel-Palestine stuff that the schism between him and Hassan kind of happened, and the audience really turned on him. And I just don't think
It's a shame that
is in
it's a
that
shame that like
situation.
October 7th needed to happen for. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That is a price I'm willing to pay, though, personally.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
To resolve stupid internet drama, some must die. It's just the way it is. Okay. But no. Yeah. Okay. Cool. No, I mean that was really everything. Unless you got anything else to add on the I'm Alex stuff or the King of Nothing stuff. What have you got lined up? Are you actually going to make another video? You know,
I'm working on it. I got fucked over because of the stupid monetization thing, but I kind of just said fuck it and pushed past it. Yeah, no, I'm kind of trying to keep daily uploads going. So I've got like 3 more days in the tube. So at some point in the next 2 nights, I need to stream again. But like, there's a never-ending like Alex allegation trench pit that I could just like. I'm like, okay, I'm here right now, and I put a bookmark in it, and then I come and pick it up at the next place. I have no problem putting out like 10 consecutive days of 1-hour videos of stream highlights about Alex. I have a video lined up that I started working on last month when I heard about all of this, and I would like to complete that this weekend, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it'll be completed by the end of the month.
okay.
I think I have a very unique angle to this where I wrote the video with a huge hole called I'm Alex Allegations at the end that would be filled in now. So I'm waiting for Alex's response, and then I'm writing that segment. But reasonably, the rest of it's pretty done.
Yeah, and also obviously, you know, you're streaming fairly regularly now, right?
Yeah, the thing is, I'll take off like a week or something, and then I'll grind out like fucking 8 streams in 2 weeks or something, which is for me a lot. For you, that's less than normal. But I mean, I do enough that I can try to keep pretty consistent content coming out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there are some days where I come to stream and like, well, what is even happening today? And I have to pull something together. But, you know, I think when you stream at that sort of schedule, there's always stuff to talk about, right?
For years, people said, like, Nick, you're just covering all this drama on Twitter and you're not making money off of it. Whereas most of my streams now are just like, okay, during the day when I'm not doing anything, I'm catching stuff and starting fights and shit like that. And I'm like, okay, when I get on stream, I can talk about each individual topic or whatever, and then upload them as like videos. There's stuff I wasted time researching that I've never covered in my life. I've never made videos on it, but I've spent hours and hours and hours learning about all the like intricate parts of it. So now I can just go on stream and tell everybody what I found out, and then they pay me for it.
Yeah, no. Streaming and doing that process is a great way of doing it, right?
It basically converts my Twitter into usable revenue instead of X dollars.
Yeah, and you know, I always hear like I can't remember who it was recently exactly, but there's always some YouTuber complaining and being like, "Oh, I'm not making enough money from YouTube," and it's like they release one video every 2 weeks and don't stream, and you're like, "Well, you need to stream if you want to make money. That's where the money is on YouTube at the moment, you know."
Yeah, that's why the IPOS people get on my nerves, because it's like, I'm not making enough money. Well, bitch, I have a fucking job, and my second channel makes more than your main channel. Please just get a job. Like, get a job.
Wow.
Anybody who's streaming right now is making way more money, all right? And I don't know if you were making this in January, because I certainly wasn't. But they kicked something into overdrive where ads on YouTube pay well now. I don't know when this happened, why this changed. On Twitch, I disabled them because I made no money in ad rates. But now there's some glitch going on where you don't go yellow until the stream ends 99% of the time.
No, that's not a glitch. That's how it should be.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. This awesome feature where demonetization just doesn't work for 4 hours straight, where I have like 2,000 to 3,000 concurrent people getting raped with ads every fucking 18 minutes.
Yeah, good. Well, no, I think that YouTube's perspective is, you know, they want to be fair and reasonable, and they switch off ads for playbacks, but on the live VOD, you know, they're just like, whatever, go crazy.
But I never noticed these rates. I had a $20 CPM one night.
Yeah,
what the rates, fuck was that? For just streaming, they're matching the donations.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you know,
all these people who upload fucking and want to do this as a career and refuse to get into streaming are leaving so much money on the fucking, which is why it's even funnier. The King of Nothing's crying about how he won't do a stream response to me when reasonably he'd probably make a fucking video's worth of revenue in a night.
I mean, yeah, it's a bit gauche to talk about, but I mean, yeah, obviously, you know, I do okay. And a lot of it is from streaming, yeah, of course. I mean, but then I Twitch income as well and Kick income, but altogether, yeah, it's pretty decent. Can't complain. I'm gonna buy a house soon.
I have a video essay channel, and I saw how well it did when I posted 2 videos rapidly earlier in the year. And I have a streaming channel that's half the size. I think that streaming is more lucrative.
Yeah, no, of course. And that is the first point of call. And, you know, obviously, I don't know if it got edited out or not, but when I went on Lolco Live and I found out that Boogie was streaming, you know, not at all, and he's complaining about money. It's like, bro, you've got money, you got a ton of money on the table there that you just leave.
Yeah, and he sees that as e-bagging, but no, if you stream and you can get 3 to 4 VODs out of it and post those to YouTube undemonetized or whatever, like with monetization enabled rather, and you're getting ads on the stream and all this stuff, like Bookie would have no world problems. He would be making a living wage every single month.
Yeah, he could
He
easily,
wants to be poor.
Yeah, he could easily be pulling in, you know, 40, 50K per annum on like four streams a week, 3-4 hours at a time, probably something like that. But with his audience, what it is, and all the haters that would come in and fuck around and stuff, I don't know. I feel like
Did you hear Boogie go on stream and he was like, "Yeah, so yeah, my situation with my girlfriend is like it's kind of cool that I kind of get to be her like father figure too." Like he's just openly leaning into people calling him a pedo now.
Well, I wonder how that strategy is going to play off.
Isn't this just gross? Doesn't this just gross you out?
I mean, yeah, of course. You know, it's. I mean, there's an old clip I saw circulating of him saying some crazy stuff as well, about 15-year-olds. Oh, but I don't know, man. It's. I mean, I guess it's the kind of stuff they're gonna challenge him on now on Lolcow Live, right?
If that, I don't know. I think Keem just sits there and goes, "What? No, Boogie, you can't say that." I don't like that show. Ugh.
I mean, I heard there was some drama popping off between Ethan and Lolcow, and I had a quick look into it, and I was just like, oh, God, this is like so obnoxious. I don't know. There wasn't really anything there that was of interest to me to talk about. Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like Ethan was kind of trying to find some content and thought, oh, Boogie's talk some shit. Let's do that, you know?
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's funny. I think he said something about Keem being like, that's a long time ago. We're done with that now, or whatever, or something like that on the stream. I don't know. Someone told me he said that, but it's like, you know, he was not reacting to Lolcow on purpose, and now he's just doing it when there's no content. Like he's actually watching Lolcow on stream.
Mm-hmm. And
he like avoided the Keemstar show. He avoided all this shit. He didn't want to cover any of it, and now he's like willing to engage with it publicly.
I guess that bad blood is under the bridge or something.
No, I doubt it. I do not think that Ethan likes Keem under any circumstance now. But
actually, to be fair, he was talking. He was singing Bo Black's praises for having a go at Keemstar, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, you gotta watch that podcast, dude. The pyro stuff is crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out today at some point.
But it was kind of sad because Clown admitted he didn't want to do any more work with Keemstar in the future and didn't want to previously with because of the pyro stuff. And it's like I knew that for a while, but it's kind of sad to still hear it out in public because those guys make such good shit together.
Yeah, no, I'll check it out. Yeah. I mean the pyrocynical stuff. I covered it the other day. I think people were too harsh to Tom in his original actions with all that. To be honest.
I think, I mean, I was there, like I was in that. Did I
everything? Yes, I know, and you know all about it, so you know.
No. This one was terrible.
Okay.
So Tom texted me and he goes, "Hey Nick, I got the Google document or something." I'm like, "You wrote a Google document?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Is it good? Do you want me to read it now and tell you before you post it, or would you like me to react to it on stream?" He goes, "You're good to react to it on stream." So I'm like, "Okay, sure." And I got like, and you can watch this; it's still on my channel. I got like a page in and I went, oh no, this is bad. This is a bad Google document. And now I'm like sitting there with like 800 people watching me. And I'm like, because I was obviously smaller. And I'm like, I have to tell people this is a bad document. I can't just get off the stream or whatever. Like I was put in a position where I'm like, I have to be honest here. And I'm going to have to burn Tom a little bit because he just got all of the information wrong.
Yeah, and then, sure. The document was bad. You should never have done the document.
Yeah, we
agree
read the quit longers. We don't write them.
Yeah, no, I see. So that is 100% agree that you should not be making the drama news. You should be reporting on it, right? Or it involves you, so you talk about it. Not I'm going to write a document on someone else. I think that's a terrible mistake. And there were some overextensions that he made in some of the coverage.
But I think when you call somebody a pedophile, everyone forgets that they were like an abuser too. You know what I mean? You ever find drama like that where it's like this person is wrong, this person's wrong, this person's wrong, and they raped somebody, and they're like, well, they didn't rape somebody, so they're good to go. That's what happened to Pyro. When you overextend and you accuse him of stuff he didn't do, that's how the internet just remembers the last thing you said about them, and then the rest of it's history.
But I think that Pyro benefited from having an enormous audience, and they basically dogpiled anyone that was critical like Tom, which, you know, has an impact on people's perception of things. And whilst I do think there were overextensions, I think that at best case scenario, Pyrocynical, you know, was so desperate to do his fart fetish furry roleplay that he was, you know, jumping into conversations with people without making any attempt to verify their age.
Yeah. Oh,
and
I
that's
agree.
the best case scenario. But the worst case scenario is he knew what the age was and he'd seen it at some point and either disregarded it or maliciously ignored it to do it. Right? That's like the worst case scenario, I think. So
I don't know if this is charitable or it's just a reach, but like every time I think of this, I remember this guy's been exposed for this for like the last 7 years. This guy's claiming that he sexted anyone and everyone. Okay?
Yeah.
If this guy was a pedophile, I feel confident that we'd know about it.
Okay, but the thing is, I mean, without getting into some of like
if he wanted to find children and get to them, he would have gotten caught.
But that's the problem. I don't know if I would say outright that he is a full-blown P-word, okay? I would just, again, speak about the specifics of it. And I think that, you know, alongside the kind of audience size, it was also the fact that it's like, it became a joke so quickly. That what
he was so dramatically irresponsible. He shifted blame. He was aggressive in his way of shutting it down and stuff like that for obvious financial reasons and stuff. All of that stuff I agree with you on.
Yeah, sure. But then it's like, you know, because it became a joke so quickly, it's almost like there wasn't time to really, and because there were problems with some of the responses, it was like, you know, we're not really sitting with the fact that he sent those insane messages. And the thing that really brought it to the forefront for me was when Big Bungie tweeted out about it and said, how did this guy get away with this? And obviously, you know, there are some nuances there, but it is kind of crazy with what he was saying that it isn't really a big a deal. And, you know, he still works with people like, you know, Nerd City and Clown. I mean, I'm not saying anyone needs to be cancelled. It's just kind of insane.
His friend group was, I think they're, so to this day, I don't even think I could tell you the French girl's age. And I feel like somebody's told me this 62 times. I think the disinformation that started from the very beginning of the story where Keem's like, this 15-year-old girl is 14 years old, and Pyro abused this 13-year-old girl. I just think even now that there are videos that explain exactly what happened from start to finish, it's still just like so jumbled in the back of the average viewer's mind.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, I agree with the criticisms, and I said myself the doc was a bad idea. I just think that it's almost like, it feels like because you were so strongly wanting to criticize Turkey Tom because he was your friend and you wanted to hold him to account, I don't know, there was maybe a sort of missing of some other aspects, and that was the focus of the document is bad, not, okay, but there's a point here about how maybe he did know the age or something like that, or, you know, at best he was so irresponsible that he did this. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought in the beginning that I thought Tom's first video was good. I think if he left it there, he would be looked at more fondly. I think his second video and the document had more problems. And I think at that point, Tom had made such large issues that he did deserve a lot of the criticism he got. But I think that Pyro got away with it because he soared on that victory and used that as a total debunk of everything anyone has ever said.
Well, okay, but wait a second. He deserved criticism from you and other YouTubers, right?
No, I think he deserved genuine, like, if you're fucking up a story that badly, if I can find out the truth by reading the rest of your document and doing 3 Google searches, this was undercooked, and you've now at this point.
But a lot of if you go and look at some of the criticism he was getting, it's so clear that a lot of that was Pyrocynical fans, because he had a much bigger audience in it at the time, blindly defending him without any logical reason. That's what it comes across like to me, at least. So you might have had a good criticism, but you got a flood of criticism that was just Pyro fans going, you know.
Oh yeah, but that's every drama. It just, you see it more because this was more.
Sure, but the sheer amount of people when someone is that size, it's a bit like me with the Dark Viper thing, right? Like, initially there was a lot of his fucking plans coming my way, and some people might look at it and go, oh, he's getting criticized a lot, so he's definitely wrong, when they're only doing that because they're fucking, you know, cock sleeves for Dark Viper, and they want to just defend blindly without really thinking it through.
Oh, so I think there's like a misunderstanding here. Did you ever cover the Toddy Westbrook shit?
Okay.
I think
Insert
1.5
another random commentary to my No,
No,
I don't
no,
know
no,
about that.
I'm not gonna give you the details to it, but I think 1.5 million subs traveled back and forth in 2 days. Like they unsubscribed and resubscribed to the YouTuber in like 3 days or something like that. The genuine commentary orbiter, like, or commentary viewer thing is like a brain of a goldfish. Yeah, I mean, the expectation is that these people aren't gonna anything short of pyrocynical intentionally raping a fucking child wasn't gonna turn their opinion, and even then, it might not have.
Sure. I mean, there's some people who are too big to fail or something, right? But like I say, I'm not judging
No, it's
anyone
not too
for
big to
working with.
fail. It's this tribalistic thing. Like it's tribalistic. This is my YouTuber, and I'm going to defend them to the death. And we all benefit from that, but some people more than others, Dark Viper included.
But yeah, I mean, someone in chat has put it really well. But it's like, it was like this idea that he's just a bit cringe, guys. He's just a bit cringe here, and it's like, I think it's a bit more than cringe. It's not necessarily 100% pedo stuff, but there's more here than cringe, and I think that got
No, he
missed
made
in
like
every-
serious fucking errors or whatever when he
Yeah,
was
it's like
younger.
gross negligence, not even try and verify the age. And the thing is, as well, this is gonna, if it was like mild flirting, okay, it's still bad, but it's not as bad. It's the nature of what it was. It was such an
Yeah.
insane, aggressive, sexualized, furry fart fest. It was crazy.
And I think that if you own up to it and you explain it a lot, I guess I can't remember Pyro's response, so I don't want to say he responded super terribly to this and he didn't own up to anything because I feel like maybe he did. I don't remember.
I think because I covered this fairly recently, I think he did own up to stuff, but it was a very downplayed version of what it was, right? So
there's tiers to this. There's like completely denying it in current day, as in that guy might as well still be a danger to people. I'm not giving that guy the pass. Then there's like the guy who comes out and downplays it, and then there's the guy who owns up to it completely. Obviously there's tiers to it, but it's like, I don't know. I find it hard to disagree with you on this because I do think that the guy like fucked up a lot of stuff, and he was grossly negligent when he was interacting with these people.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. And did 7, however long it is, do we need to cancel this guy, or should you hold people to account for associating with him? Like, I don't think Pyrocynical is out there speaking to minors and stuff, or whatever, right? So I'm not saying
Pyro got lucky because there was so much false shit about him that was being said at the same time that it was easy to use it. And like, again, I think that people who provide misinformation on easy subjects make things harder on people who are trying to do good research. And Pyro is like the number one example of the entire time this guy's been exposed online. There's been 6 fucking overarching narratives and only one of them have been right. And by that point, it's like, well, I've debunked all of these lies. It's like, yeah, because people did bad research. You're debunking the same story 5 times told by idiots. But now it's viewed as you debunking 5 different allegations.
Yeah,
you build credibility. Like your audience goes, oh, okay, Keem was wrong. He didn't bet a 12-year-old. He betted a fucking 14-year-old. So Keem's lied. Who else has lied? You're planting that doubt in the fanatic audience member's mind.
And that is why, again, going back to what we were talking about earlier, but getting it right is so important, not just for your own sake of feeling about it, but for the purposes of holding people to account. Like, for example, if you were talking about King of Nothing and you were saying things he didn't say in his video, like he could easily rebuff that, but he can't. You're very clear on what it is you're criticizing and it's in there. So all you can do is obfuscate and hide. He can't really challenge you directly, right?
Yeah, I think, again, like, I don't mean to like moral laugh about this, but I think you make it easier for bad people by making bad videos. Why respond to a video that's good when I can pick the worst video possible and obliterate him and still turn my audience?
Yeah.
That's why I think Tom obviously gets YouTube criticism, but just in general for bad research, I think he should be he deserves criticism there. And I'm glad that he's taken from that and gone on a completely different path and worked with a bunch of other people behind the scenes and built a fucking amazing channel now.
But
like
yeah,
him and John Swan had sink or swim moments, and John sank.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyway, listen, I didn't want to make it a whole thing, but I just wanted to talk to you about it because I don't know, you mentioned it came up. I'm going to watch the thing about it, and I can imagine that Keemstar probably presented the arguments in the worst possible way, which made it easy for Colossal to just shit on him.
Oh, Keem didn't know what he was talking about. Yeah, Keem
right.
Keem came in there saying like he's like, why are you still defending this guy or whatever? And then he's like, well, I'm not working with you because you called him a pedo. And then Keem froze and he's like, oh, and the gnome has nothing to say. You knew it was over.
Okay. I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean, I just, people sometimes, people have gotten annoyed with me for not calling someone a certain thing, but it's like, what does it matter what they are exactly? People just want a name so that you can rally around it and shit on them. Speak about the issue that they've done. What have they done? Those
people. Yeah, because all these people want to put everybody in a box. Every single person who's ever done something ever is exactly the same as every other person you've ever condemned. And then you get into this fucking tier list of pedophiles and rapists. And we try to argue the number. Like, there's obviously like guys like Mini Lad hung out. Like he hooked up with a girl that he'd gotten who started modding for his channel when she was super young or whatever. And then once she turned 18, they interacted. That's wildly different than any other 21-17 situation that's ever happened on YouTube. Right? Like there's obviously context there that makes people weirded out over this. Like Boogie's dating an adult. I don't often critique people who date adults. I will critique Boogie though, because he's really fucking creepy with it. He's really creepy about it. He makes constant creepy references about it. This girl's obviously like, there's something wrong with her. She like needs to smoke weed to talk to people. Okay. So like, I'm a little concerned there. Not concerned that he's a fucking pedophile child rapist, but I'm going to be much harder on him than I would be on Keemstar, who dated a girl who was 20 when he met her and 21 when they started dating. Or something.
Yeah, no, of course, it's all contextual.
There are like intricate details that make these stories different. Otherwise, it would just be reruns.
And I mean, someone's brought it up in chat, so I'll throw it in here as we're having quite a broad conversation. And we've spoken about this before, of course, but obviously there's the classic equating the Zero and Zaptai stuff. That was another drama.
Yeah, but it wasn't just equating Zero and Zaptai. It's Nick, define every fucking pedophile you've ever engaged with and tell me why it's different. So now it's like, okay, let's speak on fucking Jerica's situation now. Let's go speak on like all these other girls and all this stuff to tell me like, why is Mini Lad worse than fucking... why is Mini Lad worse than Kiwis? Why is Zaptai better than all of those people? Why is Zero ready to be forgiven? And it's just like, this is an optical disaster because now you're sitting here making me fucking talk about 15 pedophiles and the average viewer has already completely chimed out of the conversation. That's the intent is to wear you down by bringing on so many absurd fucking comparisons. Like, well, why is Lion Maker really... It's because he a kid. That's why Lion Maker is worse. It doesn't have anything to do with age gaps. Well, why is Mini Lad worse? It's because he literally started hooking up with a moderator that he knew when she was younger. Yeah, it's a little bit weirder, right? Actually, not even. He couldn't even wait for her to turn 18. He started hooking up when she was 17 or something, or Snapchatting, right?
The other problem with this stuff too is, and it feels like you feel, bad for saying it because it makes you sound bad, but some of this is right on the line of what would and wouldn't be acceptable, where it's like literally the year someone is could be 1 year difference and it would totally change your perception of it.
There is absolutely a distinct line that becomes a little bit more wavy when you start to take actual actions into it. And then you'll argue with people like that and they're like, well, that doesn't matter. Look at the age. And it's like, yeah, but the age isn't the defining factor in why this is my opinion, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
I mean, like, whether they lied about it is another huge fucking factor too. Whether they still deny it to this day, yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it gets quite complicated when you get into the weeds of it, and you're talking about two people that are both in their teen years. I'm not talking.
You sound like a crazy person. But... Imagine not being as terminally online as us and doing a pedophile tier list.
Well, but the thing here, but it does sound crazy, but you do need to consider this if you want to give people a fair shake, because, you're going to judge people. I mean, there's literally stuff in the law to account for this, Romeo and Juliet laws. So at a legal standard, we've said we're going to look at certain relationships differently, but that doesn't give free reign for a 23-year-old to date a 15-year-old.
Dude,
right?
There was a time I literally said this when Keem's fighting with Colossal, where it literally sounds like the movie version of if like they hired actors to be me versus Technicals.
Okay.
I think Clown literally says the high school context.
Okay, but there's another take I've been working on in my head, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, right? But whilst I agree that certain online relationships are acceptable within certain parameters, certain ages, it is important to remember a high school context exists because you are there at high school with another person, and there's not any sort of significant power dynamic or differential that you can point to, right? So I think Sorry,
So
go
we
on.
had health class, right? When I was in 11th grade. Health class was open to 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders. When would a 18 or 17-year-old student be potentially in a room with a 16 or 15-year-old student? Health class, where they learn about sex.
Okay.
That's literally what the class was. They passed around condoms while fucking 18-year-old people were sitting next to 15 and 16-year-olds.
Okay, I mean, that's all well and good, but what I'm saying is that's fine if something happened there. I mean, you know, there'd be a Romeo and Juliet thing to cover it, and that's taken into account possibly.
Yeah, that's the
But-
thing. It's like these people interact. They go to gym class together. They see each other. They sit at lunch together. These are people who like. It's a little different when it's a little like these are just random people online. When you're like, when you got fucking people who are in their fucking 20s or whatever, and then it's like this 14-year-old girl. It's
No,
like,
sure, but the point I'm
yeah.
making is there might be some circumstances where, and it's not always the case, because someone might have a small channel, it's not that significant, a power differential or whatever. But there's some cases where someone, you know, could be ages, a couple could be ages that we consider okay in a high school context, but because of some other element that the internet connection brings to it, we might still look negatively upon it.
Sure. I can't think of a better example than Zero. The fucking big
Ice
famous
Cubes.
YouTube internet or Mini Lad is a better example too. Huge streamer, net a moderator when she was a minor. Started talking to her when she turned 17. Like
Right.
not a minor, like what was it?
Sure,
14,
yeah.
15, 14
Because
or whatever.
I mean, there's an undeniable grooming aspect to that because of the internet.
But here's the
communication that's
thing.
happening,
Here's the
right?
thing, Chud. You like power dynamic arguments, don't you, Chud Logic?
I don't like them. I don't like power dynamic arguments. I just think that, I mean, I'm not talking about, you know, oh, some fucking, I don't know, 100K sub YouTuber hooks up with a fan. It's not about that. I'm talking about like a significant
No, you're using
situation.
the term correctly, not the
Oh, I
way that
see,
other
okay.
people use it. Yeah, that's how it is. That's what a power dynamic is. Yes. But people say like, I could not consent. He had more followers than me, and I only realized it after he dumped me and dated someone else. It's like that's not what a power dynamic is. He's not Harvey Weinstein, dude. You just
Yeah, of
broke up. You had a
course.
toxic relationship and ended. Just go away.
No, of course, and that's
Ah.
why looking at the message is important, because you would need to see that invoked in some way or something. You need something to go off, not just, oh, well, you know, you've got a YouTube channel and they don't. You know, like who fucking cares? They've got a big Twitter account. You know, so yeah, I agree with you. It's obviously it's all contextual. It is all contextual, and that's
Everything's contextual. Yeah, we're not fucking like we're not. All right, the problem is when you conflate moral and legal, and I've made that mistake, and I've tried to change that in the future on future content that I cover. That's the worst thing I've done in any of these stories is conflate moral arguments with legal arguments, because reasonably we're not the law. You could point to it, sure, but morality is where all these extenuating factors come in from, and that's where we belong, I guess, unless it's like egregious, because we're not judge, jury, executioner. We're trying to cover this objectively.
well, not everyone. Some
Yeah, I
people
guess
are.
not. Sure. Yeah, you're right.
But
You really got to go one or the other. You can't go, well, this one fails my moral purity test, therefore this legal argument doesn't, so I can just pivot my argument there, because that kind of looks cowardly the way I look back on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a really funny dynamic as well, where despite the fact that, I mean, in the UK and in the US, a lot of places is the age of consent is 16 or 17. People act like 18 is the line. Now, that doesn't mean that you would justify, you know, whatever, a fucking 50-year-old and a 16-year-old or something like that necessarily. But it's just to say that, like, why do we act like someone that is, you know, within that limit and they're in a reasonable age of each other? Like, I don't know, Call Me Carson is probably the best example of this. Like,
Yeah.
she was 17,
Yeah.
he was 19. And yeah, I think, didn't even Keemstar call him the P word? Is that right?
Immediately, yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. What an insane concept. Where that relationship would not raise an eyebrow outside of the internet ever. No one would fucking care about that.
Actually, did he? I thought he tried to angle it so the other guy was saying it. I don't remember now. I'm not 100% confident. I know Keem probably thought that. I don't know if he said it.
Okay, at the very least, he didn't do
the
most upstanding coverage of that situation, I think it's fair to say.
Oh god, no, it was terrible. But this is another thing. You guys, like, what is he? It's 16 by you, right?
Hey, what?
Age of consent. in UK?
It is, but if I went to a bar or out for coffee, then we had to go to a bar. If I went to a coffee with my mates and I had a 16-year-old, they call me a fucking pedo. Even though,
Yeah, that's literally, dude, had this conversation with Alex in 2019. He's like, yeah, mate, it's 16 here, but if you tried pulling that shit, mates would take you out back and beat the fuck out of you behind the bar or something like that. It's like, you guys have an entirely different system because the school ages aren't the same. You don't have fucking 12th grade at the same time other people have that. You're in uni before our kids are even out of fucking school.
Yeah. So basically,
you guys have a whole different context over there, bro. You
like,
have like the uni context. I don't even know what the fuck that is, dude.
It's like lower school goes up to like 16, and then there's like college, say, which is 17 to 18, and then 18 you go off to university. So, you know, it's quite rare that you would find like an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old interacting, which is why when I first started looking at stuff and someone said 18 and 16, I was a bit taken aback because I was like, huh? But apparently in America, an 18 and 16-year-old can happen in like a high school setting, right? Or something like that. Is that
like that happens, dude? No one likes to talk about this, and you'd be fucking hard pressed to find me like I guess engaging with this discussion reasonably outside of this one singular conversation. But like when I was in high school, when I was a freshman in high school, I noticed a lot of the people who like were breaking up with their other freshman boyfriends started dating seniors who drove to campus or class. And that was like extraordinarily common. And in hindsight, it looks really weird.
It does. We had a similar thing, but I think maybe the guys were older. We'd have these lads who were like, 19, 20, 21, and they'd have like a 14-year-old girlfriend. And as a fellow 14-year-old, you'd look at that and be like, what the hell? Looking back, it's like, those guys were probably pedos, to be honest. I mean,
that's just, it would happen. It would happen. And then like the parents wouldn't even say anything.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But yeah, mate.
Like a guy would break up with his girlfriend and then she'd go and date like a fucking adult.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, okay, we're getting dangerously close to some takes which some people are not going to fucking like, okay?
Yeah, no, I know.
Fucking hell. Jesus. Anyway, listen, I think that's it, really. Thanks for coming on, mate. I appreciate it, okay?
Dude, thanks for having me. We have, we've been on here for 2 hours. Holy shit.
Yeah, I reckon there's a good, at least 2 segments in that, which is good, because I've been looking for some content, so thanks for that. Really appreciate that.
Based and epic. Always happy to show.
Okay. And listen, mate.
We got to play Fortnite soon.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yes, we do. You keep dodging me.
You know what? We probably could have just played Fortnite during this convo.
We probably could.
We just hung out on stream for fucking 2 hours. We reasonably could have just played.
That's true. Well, anyway, you talk about the time zone. If you're streaming late or something, I mean, obviously I don't want to intrude on your coverage of stuff.
You're always welcome to come on. I just feel awkward asking you to be up at like fucking 2 a.m. your time to play video games with me. It just doesn't seem like it's fair to you.
No. If I'm up and I'm about, I'd be happy to do it. Obviously I do rage out a bit playing a game, but I don't want to interfere with your coverage, and let you do your thing. But yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, sure, man. I would love to do that at some point.
Sounds good. We'll sort it out.
Hell yeah, buddy. All right. Okay. Peace.
Peace.
See you later, chat.
That was a good combo. That was actually really solid. I think. Thought that was good. But yeah. I'm used to the old days where you have to be screeching at someone for it to be super entertaining. But I think just having some disagreements here, disagreements there, it's fine. Talking about shit. But yeah, I've got like a bunch of different things to look at now, so I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. But I will take a very quick break, and then I'll be back. We've got a few more hours here. Argue with Creeman. I did argue with Creeman the other day. Oh. We spoke about the I'm Alex stuff. Dude, DK went fucking ham on him in the thumbnail and title. I was like, fucking hell. Jesus. What did he call him? Contrarian. Annoying contrarian, I think, was what he was called.